If you have bad or inconsistent mobile signal, this can often be a very difficult problem to solve. But now, with the help of a certain app, you can find out why you're getting bad signal and take steps to improve it. So today, we'll run through how you can find out why your signal is so bad and explain some steps you can take to fix the signal problems you're experiencing. But before we begin, if you're looking for a new smartphone or SIM-only plan, click the link in the description to greensmartphones.com to find the cheapest deals on the market at the moment. Just click on a phone you want to buy, or click on SIM-only at the top. Then you can use the filters to find the cheapest deals on the market, given how much data you need, what contract length you want, and the mobile networks you'd consider using. So the first thing you should do to troubleshoot your signal is download an app that can give you more granular information about the quality of signal you're receiving. We use this signal checker app, so we've linked to it in the description, but it is Android only. Finding a signal checker app that works on iOS can be difficult because Apple doesn't allow developers to access signal data on the device. So if you have an old Android phone lying around, you're probably better swapping your SIM into that to be able to properly measure your signal, or maybe borrow a family member's phone if they have an Android. So once you download the app and grant the necessary permissions, tap the button in the bottom right to monitor your mobile signal. You'll see a few different metrics reported in real time, which we'll explain a bit more later on, but the main thing to look at is the overall score, which grades your signal out of 100. Getting a green score in the app can be quite rare, but even if you're only getting a score of about 40 to 50, this is normally a fairly decent result. It's only when things drop below 25 to 30 where you'll probably experience dropouts and that sort of thing, although that's not always the case. So we'll explain more about this a bit later in the video. So the first thing you can do to improve your signal, which the app can help you with, is check for anything that could be blocking it, such as buildings, walls, and other obstacles. In the app, normally, if this is a problem you're facing, you'll see a low signal-to-noise ratio reported, normally meaning that there's a lot of environmental interference around. So to solve this issue, you might want to move closer to a window or something like that, or go outside to make calls to avoid these sources of interference. But sometimes this can be a bit tricky, depending on the location of the mast you're connected to. Fortunately, the app can help you learn about this as well, but we'll explain a bit more about this later in the video. The next thing you can do with the app to improve your signal is check for radio interference. This problem is normally indicated by a low RSRQ in the app, meaning you're not getting a lot of quality signal compared to the total amount of signal received, which normally means the mobile network is suffering from congestion or radio interference. Fixing this problem can be a bit tricky, especially if you're in an urban area where these sorts of problems are quite common. The first thing you can do is move locations as much as you can, like going to the other side of the building or something like that, to see if you can get away from the interference. And apart from that, the next best thing to do is normally switch mobile network to one that isn't experiencing so much congestion. It can also be interesting to monitor your RSRQ over time to see if congestion or interference peaks at different times of day to learn more about what could be causing this. For example, you might notice the problem gets worse during peak periods throughout the day. So as we touched on before, you can use the app to find out which towers you're connected to. This can be really useful for improving your signal because it can explain why your signal might be so bad, and it can also help you identify a better network to switch to. If you go to the app, look for the ENB value at the top. This is essentially the unique ID of the cell tower you're connected to. So take this number and come to this website, cellmapper.net. Then click Menu, Search, and then type in the ENB here. Once you press Enter, this should take you on the map to the tower you're connected to. Using this information, combined with the other metrics in the app, you can get a better idea of why your signal is bad. For example, if your RSRP is quite low, meaning the signal power is weak, this probably means that the signal is dropping off over a long distance. And you can confirm this by looking at where the tower is relative to where you are. Then you can see if there are any other masts on other networks that will give you better signal where you like to use your phone. If you come to Provider, scroll down to United Kingdom, or whatever your country is, then click on another network. You'll be able to see their towers instead. Sometimes you might notice that different masts on different networks are in the exact same location. But sometimes you'll be able to find a provider that has a mast closer to your location, and you might find they offer better bands as well. In the app, you can see which bands you're using at the top in the mobile signal checker. Mobile bands can be a bit of a complicated subject, but essentially, different bands are used for different purposes, normally either providing high speeds at close range or better coverage, albeit with slower speeds, at longer range. For example, if you're trying to get faster speeds over 4G, you probably don't want to see band 20 reported in the app, because this is quite a low frequency 4G band, which doesn't offer very fast download speeds. But if you're in a remote area trying to get signal for making and receiving calls and that sort of thing, band 20 can be good to see from the mast because it offers better signal at range. So make sure to look at the different networks and their masts and compare it to what bands you're seeing in the app to find out why you're having issues with your signal and how you can improve your performance. So thanks for watching, and remember, if you have an Android phone, click the link in the description to download the Signal Checker app to take all the steps we've discussed in this video. And also, if you're looking for a new phone or SIM-only deal, click the link in the description to greensmartphones.com to find and compare the cheapest prices on the market at the moment. And if you have any questions about improving your mobile signal, let us know in the comments, and we'll help out as soon as we can.